Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin, and I'm the game bastard for this one.
Not for long. Oh, sorry.
Wait,
yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Is that a nickname?
Oh my God, I'm writing it down.
You mean Kyle the Usurper? We've always called him that.
And we are playing Deathmatch Island.
Hooray.
This has been pretty fun getting to know. It's a very complicated system. It's very new to us. It's very heavily structured, a lot like Blades in the Dark, but with a lot of extra idiosyncrasies and fun little things that make storytelling a lot of fun, but just there's a lot of stuff to know.
Yeah, there's not really one rule book. It's essentially like an Encyclopedia Britannica set.
Yes.
There's
It
17.
kind of feels like that at certain times. I've got the book open here. I've got 5 different reference sheets for running the game, for embodying production, for keeping track of stuff you guys have found. There's also a quick reference sheet, which they very kindly provide.
He also has a team of research assistants at the ready to look
they're
things
back
up.
in the back. I've got ChatGPT open up here, just throwing out suggestions.
I've got a Portuguese to English dictionary.
I've got a Frankenmouse.
And last time, we landed, I believe, on the decision, Kyle, to go investigate a blinking light down at one of the southern sections of the island.
Yep.
And we got a truck.
Yep. We're going to drive the truck through the jungle to the blinking light. It's going to be a fire in the sky type situation.
It's Fire in the Sky meets Sorcerer.
Before we get started, why don't you give us a brief introduction to who the fuck you are? Who's riding in this trundling old pickup truck on the way through the jungle?
I am Sebastian Usoro. Yeah. I have truck and pistol now.
My name is Lincoln Hoffman. I work at a tire factory. I love my friends. I like Bud Light and America.
Oh. I'm playing Morgan Castle with his trusty Frankenmouse, Mr. Christopher. He's kind of the moral center of the Plum Chums.
Mm-hmm.
The Plum Chums. Is that our name now?
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys actually find an overgrown, cracked, and crumbling highway that is cutting through these clearings in the jungle. And although it's abandoned and clogged with abandoned rusty cars and dead bodies all along the sides of the road, you do make pretty good time as you quickly realize that much of the island is connected via these old, sparsely maintained roadways.
You know, friend, pals, I'm starting to suspect that perhaps something bad happened here at one time.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Mississippi, except the road is better.
I think it's purgatory.
Mississippi's purgatory? That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Actually.
At the ice cream shop, I make purgatory ice cream. It's vanilla with red hots.
Yeah, that's awful.
As you get closer to the blinking light, you can see that it is a very narrow, just beacon tower that is sticking out of a raised mound in the dirt about a mile off the road. And you're able to get another half mile before you have to get out of the truck and walk.
So, Beacon Tower, is this as tall as, say, a cell phone tower, or?
You would measure it at about 5-6 stories tall. Not necessary for like aerial clearance or something like that, but definitely something that you can see across much of the island.
If you were to try to 9/11 it, you would have problems.
Yeah, it'd be hard to hit.
Yeah.
I think we test it.
Luckily, you have no plane with which to do that.
No, but we can build a ramp and drive a Dukes of Hazzard truck into it.
High on the hill is a concrete bunker.
I like how Austin just ignored my suggestion.
I thought it was rude. He tried to stop me from resurrecting a mouse last week. If you can believe it, Kyle would never.
In Austin's defense, I can't imagine the list of bullshit I've ignored that you guys have said.
Ignored / completely given up.
We've just brought Kyle around to our way of thinking.
I think after Flern, he just
He's checked
tuned
out.
out.
All right, well, as you approach this dirt hill, your immediate impression is weathered concrete overgrown with sparse vegetation, orange light blinking from the beacon tower above it, a heavy steel door. If you guys remember what the bunker entrance looked like in GoldenEye, that's exactly what this looks like. However, you don't get close enough to get any more detailed of an impression because surrounding the bunker is a chain link fence topped with razor wire. There is a gate out front of what looks like about a 50 square foot area surrounded by the fence. The gate is wide open, but you can see the orange markers of 2 sentry guns posted on the right and left of the bunker entrance, kind of up on raised concrete pillars.
And this is not at the gate. It's back at the bunker entrance.
Yeah, picture the chain link fence surrounding about a 50 square foot area. The bunker entrance is in the center of it.
Gotcha.
In kind of a raised area. And on either side of that, on 2 concrete pillars, are these automatic sentry guns.
And we are in the jungle.
You are, still in the midst of the jungle. You're kind of in a clearing off this highway, but still mostly surrounded, mostly abandoned, mostly. Because outside the gate is a woman with dark hair in her mid-30s who's seated on the ground, just kind of rocking back and forth and watching the bunker entrance.
How far away from the turrets is she?
She's still outside the perimeter of the fence, so she's outside the range of the guns.
So they're just ignoring her.
Yes. You can kind of tell by how close she is to the opening of the fence and the fact that the guns still aren't tracking her, that the fence probably marks the range of these turrets.
Is she surrounded by dead bodies or is she alone?
No, this is just her.
Okay. I think she's a vampire.
And as you get closer...
I've seen this before. These are man turrets.
Oh, so if you're a woman, you're fine.
They will not shoot a woman.
So it's like a Skynet situation, but plus Predator?
That's crazy.
I've never seen guns such as these before, but if I make it out alive, I'm getting them for ice cream shop to shoot goose.
I'm just marveling over Todd's generic European accent. It's the best. I have no idea what country it
I
is.
don't either.
I mean, he's pretty much a hot cham.
Body.
So, Austin, how much clearance between the fence and the tree cover is there?
There's about 3 feet.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not like there aren't trees overhanging the fence in some areas. If you'd like to try and surpass the fence that way, that would be an option. But you also don't know the range of motion of the turrets.
Okay, and the fenced area goes all the way around in a big circle around the bunker.
Yep.
I think we leave.
Plum chums, we burrow.
So this is what is classified as a redacted area. This is normally off limits to competitors of the game, which means that getting in, you will all be using your redacted skill to try and access this area.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that you're only having to use things that kind of fall in that the redacted skill is basically a catch-all for your fortitude at overcoming obstacles, which means that if you still want to, Corey, like use what would normally be snake mode to try and sneak in somehow, like say you did try to like burrow underneath the fence and circumnavigate these guns. That's something you could try to do, but you would still be rolling your redacted skill to try and access it. Redacted areas are generally run by production. They are ways for you to gain more information about the island itself and what is going on. You can definitely tell that it has something to do with breaking the fourth wall, because as you kind of approach, you can see this woman sitting on the ground is hugging her legs toward herself. She has a haunted look in her eyes, and she's just repeating, "Break the game, break the game, break the game," as she stares at the bunker entrance.
Ma'am, we too would like to take a break from the game.
So what equipment do we have? I have a pistol and survival gear.
Well, one thing I do have, I was going to ask if there was like any kind of signage or any kind of, maybe something spray painted, any kind of like wordage or code on the wall, because I do have my cryptography code book, which is a redacted item.
Which are, I will bring up, the only equipment that you're allowed to use in redacted contests.
Okay. So can I see anything like, even something like written near the sentry guns or perhaps the woman's shirt?
You can try that. You can potentially see if the equipment you have on hand, which, Corey, I believe I also counted Frankenmouse, Mr. Christopher, as a piece of redacted equipment.
Okay.
So I'm going to walk to the opposite side of the bunker, away from the guns. I'm going to stay well outside what seems to be their firing range. And I'm going to look for dead trees and limbs in the jungle. And I'm going to pile them up on the rear fence until the weight crushes the fence down. And I'm going to cross into the bunker that way.
Okay.
All right.
So you can kind of see from the back and forth sweep of the picture how you discern the range of motion in a video game of automated turrets. You can kind of see from the angle of their back and forth, like a oscillating fan, that they do cover a large swath of the fenced-in area, but I'll say, Kyle, you can discern a possible blind spot for them. You'll still have to roll for it, but you can kind of see, like I said, on these guns, these orange markers, but those also look like they could possibly be the motion sensors for the guns. It's a very small target to hit, but it is a target that is there, possibly.
I am going to talk to Lady.
Oh, no.
So will you essentially trying to either get information from her or ask her to help you?
Mainly information.
Okay.
What are you doing, Corey?
Yeah, so do I see any signage or anything I can read or decode?
So you see several bits of signage that are indeed absolutely unreadable. Some of them also are just in plain English that say things like, safety starts with S but begins with U, along with the logo for Deathmatch Island. But there are lots of what could possibly be staff signage that is either in another language or encoded. You can't tell just by looking. You'll have to use that equipment somehow to see if that's at all useful.
I specialize in the unreadable. My favorite author is Thomas Pynchon.
So yeah, I'm going to try to use the cryptography book to see if I can decipher anything that looks weird to me.
Okay, that's great. All right, so then for building your dice pools, everybody will be using your redacted skill.
Which is a D6, I assume?
I believe so, yes. I looked through the charts. I don't think any of the occupations focused on the redacted skill, which is interesting to me.
Well, I guess if you had an occupation that was redacted, you'd be part of the production team.
Yeah.
Possibly, but we have no idea what industry it's familiar with.
Right.
There was a part of me that almost wanted to roll and see if randomly one of you got the redacted skill. But
Right.
we'll just follow the rules of the game for now.
Be like a thing in Alien where one of us is actually the android.
Yeah, essentially.
That'd be cool.
And I thought about that, but it's initial motivations that we rolled for and everything were kind of enough as far as spreading out the player focus. So you'll all be using your D6 for the redacted skill. You got your name and your occupation die, so that's 2 more D6. Now, Corey, you are also using an acquisition, so that's going to be a D4.
Okay.
And just remember, you'll be adding that to that,
Right. I take the highest of the D6 pool I've got, but I add the D4 to it.
the highest 2 added together.
Okay, cool.
And then you'll add that to the D4.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Are you going to spend? Are y'all going to spend trust with one another?
I'm going to spend a fatigue to use my challenge beast because I'm, physically gathering wood and things.
Okay, so you'll add that capability die.
I don't think I'm going to add any trust.
Okay. So then what I'll do first is roll for essentially the bunker. So it has automated security measures. That's a D6. Motion tracking weaponry. That's another D6, which also makes this challenge dangerous, meaning any failures are going to score you injuries instead of fatigue. And the danger level is +5 here. This is a restricted area. But those are the only 2 die I get to roll. All right, not too bad. It's going to be a total target number of 10.
Okay.
And we take our 2 highest dice, correct?
Yeah, you'll add them together. Add together your 2 highest results.
With my D4, I got a total of 12.
Fantastic.
I got a 7.
Okay.
6 and 6 equals 12.
Good job, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, I went to a public school.
All right, so then we're going to start with Todd, and we'll go back and forth.
If you need to, you can kill Todd.
Sebastian goes to talk to the lady, and it turns out, no, it's a lady gun.
I was going to say she's actually a goose. Just sheds her human skin.
She unzips her human sheath to reveal a goose in a bonnet, and she starts spinning yarns and fables.
Okay, so there's a majority of success anyway, so we're going to get in. Todd, yours is a fumble.
Yep.
But you are also speaking to an NPC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for her 2 relevant traits, and I'm going to add her highest single result to yours.
Okay.
And that's a 5. So you actually also got a 12.
Yes.
And the only reason that I'm doing that is because of her relevance to this challenge. If it was just a random NPC that you ran across, that wouldn't be an option. But since you are using your social abilities to try and talk to her, and because it doesn't make sense to introduce that character without, if she immediately just becomes irrelevant. So
Yes, and also because LLSU, ladies love Sebastian Usoro.
I went to college there.
Great lacrosse team, yes.
So, Corey, we're going to start with you. Although I'm going to go ahead and give you kind of the result of your attempt because Normally you would narrate this, but we already know exactly what you were trying to do, which was use that code book to see if you can find a vulnerability to get into the bunker.
Right. And more than likely, I would say something stupid.
That's likely.
Yeah. It's a problem. It's not something I'm proud of or anything. It's just...
Well, it's still going to be on you to figure this out. So if he fucks it up,
No.
it's you still have a chance.
And it's not just a problem on the podcast either.
No, it's terrible. It's a living hell being me.
Yeah.
So you can clearly discern that one of these signs is encoded for staff to be able to access it. But even the instruction itself is enigmatic and veiled. You can see that one of these signs says, flashing light is the key inside. And that's all it says. Todd, we're going to go to you walking up and trying to talk to the woman.
Excuse me, lady. You seem distressed. Was it Goose?
Break the game. Break the game. Break the game.
Oh my God, your face! It snaps her out of it immediately.
Oh, she hasn't looked at him yet.
Oh, okay.
Sebastian, does the finger snap thing in front of her face. Snap out of it, lady.
Break the game. Break the game. Break the... What the hell is wrong with your face?
And got hit by Goose. It happens.
Does it?
Happened to me.
Well, I'm just a call center worker, so I don't even get to go outside very much. But I've got to figure out how to break the game.
Oh, so you work for Island?
No, I've been here before, though.
So you survived first time.
Well, I hid. I
But-
didn't win the game. I just found a place to hide.
Did you get out?
No, I've
Oh,
been
so-
here ever since last season.
How you think game will be broken?
I'm saying we have to break the game. We have to figure out how it works. That's the only way to actually survive.
Okay, I'm all for breaking game. What can we do to help?
What did I hear your friend say over there? He was looking at one of the signs.
Yes, he has code book. He code breaker.
He has a cold book?
Code. You what? How you say zodiac shit?
You there? And she calls out to Morgan.
What?
Says, "But can you tell what the sign says?
Yep.
He has man a few words, but he has adorable mouse friend.
Are any of them useful?"
Mr. Christopher doffs his cap.
Well, mouse is useful.
The code reads, flashing light is the key inside. Does that mean anything to you, lady? What's your name?
My name's Panya.
From the other side of the bunker where he's piling up dead wood to crush the fence, you hear, "Hey, man, this reminds me of Imitation Game. Y'all ever see that movie?" It's real good. I conked out about midway through, but I liked it.
She said, "I think I might know what that means. I found this hand beacon in one of the caves below the island. Maybe we can use it on the sentry gun's sensors."
That would be cool.
And she hands you the hand beacon. So, Todd, in your redacted equipment, mark flashing beacon. And this is essentially just a handheld LED flashlight, except when you turn it on, it flashes like one of those self-defense mechanisms instead of just staying on.
And a dozen cats come out of the jungle and start chasing. And
As soon as Sebastian holds it up and points it toward the bunker entrance, you see the sentry gun's motion sensors flash, and they make a mechanical kind of whirring sound as they just kind of start spinning around in circles. Pena is the one who bravely kind of stands up and takes the first step forward into the fenced area, and nothing happens. So you think, as far as you can tell, the guns have been disabled. Right about this time, you see Lincoln walking up the hillock.
Parkour! Parkour! He runs up the ramp he made, jumps up onto the bunker, then runs across the top of the bunker and does a flying kick into one of the guns. Parkour! It's okay, guys. I got it.
Yes, you disabled guns. Very good, Lincoln.
All right, so you did make it inside.
I feel like Benny Cumberbund.
In what? Which role?
The Imitation Game, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I do believe Alan Turing was a huge fan of parkour.
He was an action hero.
Yeah. Well, watch a Uck movie.
Yeah, that opening sequence in Casino Royale was based on him. Mm-hmm. You do make it inside. Thanks to Morgan's code book, you're also able to discern the correct order of cryptic symbols on a keypad that will open the actual door into the bunker, and it slides sideways open. This whoosh of stale air comes rushing out. You see a concrete hallway leading down, steps leading into the darkness. As you enter, Panya is looking around kind of fearfully, but she's the one kind of leading the way. And you find yourselves in what looks like a type of survival shelter. Cans of expired food are on metal shelves, bunk beds all around.
There's a love-stricken Scottish man inputting a code over and over again.
On a side table, you find an actual map of the island. So someone should take that.
Who is good at map?
I take the map.
All right. And then you find 2 other pieces of redacted equipment. But we'll get to those in a minute because on the closest bunk, as you walk into the kind of open space of the survival shelter, you see a dead body.
I take that.
When you turn it over, you see these long, luscious locks falling out of its face. And as Sebastian leans closer, he realizes that it's him.
Is his face okay?
It's actually centered perfectly.
Well,
Sebastian, take the face. Tired of looking at you.
Sebastian pulls out a switchblade and starts cutting. Guys, friend pals, just going to say, bit unsettled at the moment. I don't know what this means.
It's a clone.
this reminds me of episode 6, season 3, Melrose Place.
I see.
Over in the corner next to the metal shelves filled with canned food, you see a water cooler with a spout and those little cone cups stacked up next to it. Except inside the water cooler is just black. And when you hit one of the spigots, this viscous black slime leaks out. It smells sickly sweet.
I drink this. No.
Somebody pooped in this water cooler. A couple times.
That takes work.
Yes, you have to take bottle off top and poop inside, then get it back up. It's a whole process.
I found a funnel works best.
Oh, yeah.
God.
And Lincoln, as he explores around the back of the room, he finds another doorway. It's open, and it leads into a large room. Exceptionally large, but it's completely empty, save for one folding chair, precisely in the center of the room. And the chair is facing a light switch on the wall that is currently set to on. It only takes about 5 minutes of experimenting for you to realize that the light switch turns the beacon tower above the bunker on and off. Other than that, you find an ammo crate in the survival shelter area, but it doesn't have ammo in it. It has some redacted equipment, and I'm going to roll for that right now. Inside, there are 3 encrypted walkie-talkies, so each of you can get one of those.
And Austin, real quick, next to the equipment, there's little diamonds, which I assume we're meant to fill out at some point.
So those are the allotted uses.
Okay.
Once you've filled both of those out, the equipment is no longer usable.
Okay.
But I am going to say that you also find ammo for your P99, so if anybody did use the pistol in one of the previous contests or anything, just clear out that slot. And
What about shells for my shotgun?
no shells for the shotgun.
Fuck.
All right, and you only found one of these, a chaff grenade. Now, for those of you that don't know what a chaff grenade is, it is for electronic interference. You throw a grenade, and it basically sends tiny little scraps of foil metal into the air, and it fucks with electronic equipment like security cameras and surveillance equipment, things like that.
Nice.
And that's it. As you look around, Panya looks disappointed and says, I really thought there would be more here.
I hate to burst bubble, but are we going to address the fact that there is dead me in the corner over there?
Yeah, I found a couple of those last season.
You found a couple of
Got a
dead
couple of
Sebastians?
Yeah.
Well, I found a couple of me.
Anybody have problem with me weekend at burning dead me along for the ride? Because I don't know. It just seems weird. It might be useful.
I'm going to say I have a problem with that. Pena raises her hand like a student.
Here's a question. So is this it's not skeletonized. I guess it's just like, how long does it look like it's been dead?
He could have been dead yesterday.
Okay. All right, man. You got any birthmarks, Sebastian?
That seems like very personal. Oh, I see why you're asking. Yes. So Sebastian pulls down the pants of the dead him and inspects the buttocks. Sebastian has the boot of Italy on his left cheek. It's purple.
This one's is on the right.
Kind of plum.
Well, look, clearly this ain't Sebastian.
No, this is someone trying to make Sebastian and not doing a very good job. This
Yeah.
one much uglier.
Let me check, see if it has internal organs.
Okay.
Pena speaks up again and says, I'm going outside.
All right.
I've heard there's a sanctuary in the subdivision close by, and I'm heading there soon.
Okay, good luck. I'm going to cut this body up.
No, I'm going to wait outside if you wouldn't mind giving me a ride over there.
I mean, actually kind of interested because, don't know what insides look like.
Yeah, I'm going to break the ammo crate to get some jagged pieces of wood, and I'm going to gut this body.
Okay.
I gut deer before. This ain't that different. And it's dead, so it's not even a crime.
You just find regular internal organs.
And a pair.
Is it in a plum uniform?
It's in an orange one.
Clearly, this ain't Sebastian.
That's good. I would hate if I was actually dead.
I go set the body in the chair, in the folding chair, in the weird room.
Just pose it?
Yes.
Okay, Zaz.
So are we giving Pena a ride? Is that what we're doing?
No, we're going to murder him.
Jesus. Yeah, well,
All right, well, that is the conclusion of this node.
farewell, Sherbet, Sebastian.
Goodbye, dead to me.
All right, so you've gathered all you can from this location and have witnessed a little bit more of the weirdness that is Deathmatch Island.
So I guess we will head back to the vehicle, take Michael Pena to wherever she wants to go.
And as we walk back to the vehicle, Morgan takes Mr. Christopher and gently squeezes him every 15, 20 feet or so to leave a little dropping trail in case we need to find the bunker again.
Sure.
Or in case Sherbert Sebastian wakes up and
Yeah.
needs to follow us.
That guy ain't going to wake up, man.
Oh.
Yeah, his guts are on the floor.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to say Mr. Christopher runs on empty by the time you hit the perimeter of the fence.
It's okay. I brought some guts from old Sebastian, so you can put those in there.
We just leave intestine trail.
Suddenly, as you're walking back to the truck, you hear klaxons go off in the distance, sounding 3 times. If you remember correctly, this is what signals the beginning of Phase 2. Startled birds take to the air in great flocks, and then a deadly silence descends. From here on out, it's kill or be killed. So we're getting into the Phase 2 of every experience on the island. And this is what essentially is going to culminate in the Battle Royale deathmatch. Now, I will say, like a few other Evil Hat games, this second phase is far less fleshed out than Phase 1. And there's a whole lot more ambiguity as to how this is going to work. But the basic structure of it is pretty simple. The only major thing for you to keep in mind is that in Phase 2, you do not get to support. In all challenge nodes, all PCs are competing. It's all or nothing. So the first challenge of Phase 2 is to scout. Find and reconnect with allies, spy on the enemy alliance, or survey the potential battleground for the big confrontation. The winner of this contest earns a 1d10 advantage die, which they may use once during Phase 2. The second step is Scramble. These are all going to be separate contests in which you will all roll. In Scramble, competitors move to seize control of the chaos as threats are revealed. Each competitor player may choose to either defend against a threat or seize control of the battle. The winner of the Seize contest chooses a bonus capability for the Battle Royale. So, in normal contests, you would spend Fatigue to add a second capability whenever you're trying to pull off a maneuver. In Phase 2, when you're scrambling, which is basically just everybody getting positioned. First you scout, then you scramble to find a good fighting position while you deal with intrapersonal conflicts across the island. And then the third step is the actual Battle Royale. This is always going to be a deathmatch capability contest, and only a fraction of the remaining competitors will progress to the next island. But first comes scouting. Scouting is about reconnaissance and maneuvering, and you can essentially choose. I'm not going to describe the state of anything so far. All I'll say is that as you guys are traveling with Pena with you in the back of the truck, that's when you hear the klaxon sound. You're already on your way to the sanctuary. And so now each of you individually has a decision to make for what action you're essentially going to take during scouting. But don't worry, this is not completely open-ended. This is kind of broken down into 5 options. Number 1, you can regroup with allied teams. You can reconnoiter the island, surveil the opposing alliance, infiltrate the other side, or appeal to humanity. Meaning, if you can approach 1 or 2 of the opposing alliance members and talk to them as individuals, there may be a way to avoid a lot of brutal bloodshed.
Why would we want to do that?
I don't know. I don't know why it's here, honestly.
So do we all have to choose the same thing here? Or?
Nope.
Okay.
You essentially are no longer part of a team in this phase.
Okay.
So you can act as you like.
Okay.
Now, you can still unofficially work together in order to take care of threats and to try to progress to the next island together, but you are acting alone.
I'm reconnaissancing.
All right, you're reconnoitering.
Yeah, in the truck.
Okay.
I think Morgan's also going to recon the area.
Okay.
I trust nothing I see. Did you know Bush did the Luka Doncic trade?
No, man.
Crazy.
Sebastian will infiltrate.
Oh, Sebastian's going to infiltrate the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being the cop crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We've got one infiltrating the other side. Corey, you're reconnoitering.
Yep.
And Kyle, you're also reconnoitering.
No, I'll change it since Corey wants to do it. I'm going to try to regroup with the team, try to find Quincy's team, and tell them what we found in the bunker, and generally explain how we don't know what that means. And do they have any ideas?
All right. So then, Corey, you're going to be what capability are you going to be using for recon? Now, you've got the map as well, right?
Yep. I've
All
got
right,
the
so
map.
I'm going to say that can be used. And don't forget, you've also got that recon advantage from your time at the radio tower.
Yeah, I didn't forget that. Good role player.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're also going to be using your name and occupation die as per normal.
And can I also use my climbing gear to try to get like an aerial view somehow, like maybe climbing trees, something to kind of get a better look at the island?
I'm going to say yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea.
Is that another D6?
And acquisition is another D4.
Okay. And the map's a D4 as well?
Yes. And I'm going to limit your equipment to just 2. And for that one, you'll just be taking the highest result.
Of the 2 D4s?
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as capabilities, can I use snake mode? I'm kind of sneaking up a tree to...
That makes total sense.
Okay.
I think you should.
So my total dice pool is 3D6, 2D8, and 2D4.
All right. So Todd, what all are you going to be rolling?
Well, obviously, I'll be using my social game capability. And since I'm trying to secretly infiltrate, I think snake mode would also come into play.
Okay. So as a secondary capability?
Yes.
All right. So spend a point of fatigue, and you can add both of those. And you'll be using your social game, so your occupation comes into play. Your name will come into play. By the way, speaking of your name, the danger level for that bunker contest was 5. So each of you marked down 5 notches on your follower count.
Oh, nice.
Audience loved that shit. And in fact, take 2 more because it was a restricted area.
I don't like all these people looking at me.
How do you think I feel? They all make fun of face.
So your face is fucked.
All right, so you've got 2 capabilities and your name and occupation. You using anything else?
I did pick up that survival gear, which has food in it. I could, I got food.
Yeah, if you want to use that as a bargaining chip, go for it.
Who wants ice creams?
So that'll be a D4, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my dice pool is a D8, 3 D6, and 1 D4.
Cool. Kyle?
I guess this is social. I'm gathering allies, so that sounds socially.
So I'm going to say, Kyle, that you will be able to use your challenge beast, your chosen capability, just because you, and let's say Panya, who is going to be joining you as you both make your way toward the sanctuary, are going to be trying to get there before any of Abthorpe's scout teams can.
All right, yeah. I'll grab Pena. You're real slow, so I throw her over my shoulder and take off running.
I'm really not that slow. I prefer to run.
So D8 and then 2D6 from name and thing.
Yeah. All right, so name and occupation, your challenge beast. What else you got?
I think that's it, really. I mean, none of the equipment I have really seems like it would apply.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead, Kyle, and say you can also use your recon advantage.
All right.
If you want. We're going to be coming up on 2 more contests in phase 2. You're welcome to save it if you want to use it for battle royale or scrambling to maneuver.
Nah, I don't believe in saving things.
All right, so now that you've got your dice pools put together, I'm going to put mine together. You're essentially rolling against the utmost enemy alliance anytime you're making phase 2 rolls. And so in this case, that's going to be Abthorpe and his makeshift police alliance. And so we're going to use a D10 for the actual alliance itself. We're going to roll for everyone that follows him. Even though they're not cops themselves, they are acting on his orders as a police officer, which is the D8 occupation. I'll be rolling for him. And then 1 D6 for his loud and authoritarian demeanor.
And real quick, so as far as our followers go, I think we each have essentially 110,000 followers right now. According to the sheet here, we don't get any bonuses for followers until we hit 400,000.
That's
which
correct.
changes our name die to a D8.
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right. So for the production side, just as a reminder, whenever I roll, I'm only taking the single highest die result and adding it to the danger level of the island. And my highest result was a 6, so it's going to be a total of 10. That's the target number.
Okay.
So everybody roll, and Todd, I believe we're going to go with you first.
Okay. I don't like this game. I'm going home. I rolled 3 2s and a 1.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, but I did roll a d4, but that's still just an 8.
Okay.
Sebastian actually rolled well, but his dice landed sideways.
Everything skews just a bit. Corey, how'd you do?
Better than Todd.
Really?
I got a 16.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. Kyle?
My result was a 9.
The result was a 9. Okay.
One better than Todd, but still not a success.
All right.
I see what's happening here. There always has to be an Austin on the team, and since Austin is GM, I am the Austin.
Yep.
Todd, we're going to go with you first. So Sebastian makes his way on foot through the jungle and is headed for the industrial port, hoping to meet up with at least some of the Alliance or perhaps Abthorpe himself. But it actually doesn't take you that long, and you only get as far as the clearing where you saw the Whitewater before you run into a pretty big group of armband-wearing lunatics and Abthorpe among them. So what's your approach as you try to make peace and talk your way into their ranks?
Anybody hungry? I got food.
So you're calling this out for quite a while as they approach, and you hear Abthorpe kind of directing his followers as they move through the jungle. All right, we've got a contingent of a dozen going further to the north, and we're going to make a straight line and just dragnet across the island. And he stops when he finally catches sight of you, and you see 3 different followers suddenly train their machine guns on you. I think I remember you, he says. What do you want?
Let's take a chill pill, bros.
That's not a good thing to say to a cop.
Okay, well, look, I got tired of other guys. They are nerds.
Okay.
They keep making fun of my face.
No, I hate nerds.
They
Get
make-
people making fun of my face, too. That's why I wear this big mustache.
Oh, I never thought about growing mustache. Of course, it would probably look very weird growing on side of face. But anyway,
Yeah, yours would lead a little starboard.
but I was wondering if I could join, like, real team.
You ever wonder what would happen if you grew a mustache and it just grew in the regular part of your face, but the rest of your face was just still over to one side?
That might be a new look. I like.
Anyway, what was your question?
I would like to join, like, super cool cop group and not nerd make fun of face group.
God damn it, that's a good name. I should have thought of that. I just thought of the Vast Alliance. All right, everybody, from now on, we're known as the Super Cool Cop Group.
This guy's got it together.
I like you.
I have survivor gear like food and whatnot.
Yeah, but where have you been all this time? You've been making your way across the island like everybody else? Why haven't any of my troops run into you?
We was at this place with flashing light, and I find myself dead.
Wait a minute, you found your way into the bunker?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
He takes out the flashing beacon and says, "Hey, I use this. It disabled gun. I go into bunker, find myself dead. What a day."
He looks at you thoughtfully for quite a while, and then he kind of turns his head slightly and says, "Take it and shoot him." And 3 of his troops kind of close in around you, and Sebastian is forced to run, fleeing through the jungle as bullets whiz past him. One does strike home. Now, Todd, you've already been shot once, right?
In the knee.
So you're going to take another injury from the failure. But I'm going to roll randomly for your injury. The bullet does only superficial damage, tearing your plum polo even more. But dodging out of the way knocks you off balance, and you run smack into a tree and break your nose.
Oh, hey, you know what? I have advantage in that. Because I was hit in face by goose, my face is numb.
No, it's true.
It's weird. The rest of your face is still off to one side, but now the nose is back in the center.
Nice!
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
broken, but it's back in the center.
Can I use that advantage to get rid of the injury, though? Or how does
Oh,
that
no,
work?
you do suffer a second injury
Okay.
just for the failure. All right, so you did fail to infiltrate, but you learned a little bit of intel if you were paying attention right there up front.
Yes, because they are splitting up. They are in straight line, marching across island.
Abthorpe's Alliance is running a dragnet across the entire island.
Super cool cop group.
So the only reason that I'm saying that out loud is because you guys actually discovered encrypted walkie-talkies in the last challenge. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to say that you're immediately able to tell the other guys about that.
I do that.
So Kyle, you are attempting to regroup with some potential allies over at the sanctuary.
Yep.
And you and Pena are in the truck. Is that what you said?
No, I'm carrying her.
That's right.
Running through the woods.
Forgot. So you do make it to the sanctuary, the subdivision that Quincy told you about. And it's made up of lots of McMansions and dual finish 2-story homes that all look very similar, but all use the same shade of brick and clay siding, surrounding what must have been once a very beautiful lake in the middle. But instead of any gatherings of allies, you see nothing. It looks abandoned.
And my injury is I'm really winded because I carried Pena the whole way.
We can say that. Yeah, take that injury.
Oh, you're heavier than you look. I should have let you run. Gosh, why'd you make me carry you?
This doesn't make sense. Where's Quincy? Quincy's supposed to be here. I was supposed to find Quincy, but I haven't seen them since I first crossed over the Whitewater. They're supposed to be here. I was supposed to. And she cuts a look at you a little bit, and she says, "I was supposed to meet Quincy here."
Well, look, lady, I don't know what to tell you, but to be fair, your quandary probably isn't going to be resolved until the next episode. So I'd say it's fine. Just chill out.
And she leans in and looks at you thoughtfully for a long time. And she looks at you thoughtfully for a moment. And she says, I can't wait. I'm going to find my hiding place again. Phase 2's already started and the deathmatch is coming soon. You have to promise me something. And she pulls you real close. I know Abthorpe's dangerous and I know Abthorpe's evil, but he is determined to break this game. Being a cop, he's the only one that believes that there's something bigger at stake here. And Quincy is only trying to get home. And her gathering followers to her side is not going to do anything but perpetuate this game even longer. If you see her again, you have to kill her.
Okay. I'll kill everybody I see thanks to you. You got me. No, I'm kidding. I heard you. Sorry. I like joking.
She's already running away. Bye. All right. So since you failed the roll, you're not going to get the opportunity to gather potentially more allies to your side that might have given you an extra advantage in deathmatch. That's the failure.
And my side really hurts because I carried that woman while running.
Well, then we move over to Corey, who is the successful one in this case. Corey, you have been reconnoitering the island. What's your approach been?
I mean, I guess I just tried to find the tallest tree I could find, like an elevated position, like on a hill or whatnot. And with my climbing gear, I climbed the tree and used my map and got an extra pair of eyes and Mr. Christopher here and had me a look-see.
All right. So you succeeded in the roll. So with the danger level of the island being at 4, you go ahead and mark 4 more notches on your followers. You gain 40,000 more followers. Todd, you and Kyle mark 1 notch. You each gain 10,000 followers for continuing to compete. And Corey, you do get a very clear sense of exactly what is going to happen based on your kind of bird's eye view of the island.
Okay.
Not only were you able to climb a tree, you actually had the presence of mind to go climb back to the radio tower. And since you now have the climbing gear, you were able to scale the radio tower itself and get a good view out of the entire island. And it's good enough that you can actually see little clusters of alliances moving across the island. You can see the straight line that you now know to be Abthorpe's alliance moving in this clear dragnet, murdering anybody else that it comes across. But you can see it moving in kind of a phalanx formation with Abthorpe at the head. And that the head of that phalanx is headed straight toward a cluster of apartment blocks at the westernmost side of the island, which you'll be able to see on the map.
Okay.
On the other side of the island, moving up from the sanctuary, moving north, you can see a small group of people that can only be Quincy and her small group of rebels that are also trying to move north. And you can tell that either an ambush or a collision is going to take place at those apartment blocks.
Okay.
And then because you're the sole successful one in this one, you find a surprise at the top of the radio tower.
Meemaw!
Up on this gantryed platform where normally maintenance is done on this little orange electrical box, you also see propped up a sniper rifle.
Oh, nice.
And right as you pick it up and have the opportunity to look it over, you hear the klaxon sound again, signaling the shift to the scramble stage of phase 2. And that's where we'll end today.
Okay.
Next time, we're all going to be trying to get in position and get ready for the ensuing fallout of the battle royale. So this is turning out to be pretty fun. The amount of improvisation inside the little structured boxes of what the game gives you is sometimes kind of daunting, but it actually gives you a lot of tools that you can use to just build this out any way you want. And the most fun part of it is that there's no real right answer. There is only the enigmatic elements and suggestive props that this game gives you. A lot of that is going to culminate in the end game on the next island, where you guys will hopefully get to see next time.
Hey, y'all, listen to this. Them's Norse Foundry dice.
I was wondering.
NorseFoundry.com. They have all manner of dice in all manner of styles and made out of all manner of materials. They have lots of cool merch. When you go to NorseFoundry.com and make your purchase, when you're checking out, make sure to enter promo code CHAM. That's CHAM for CHAM, and get the 10% Bastard Quest discount at NorseFoundry.com. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
I love that cute little mouse commode they put in the bathroom.
It's really convenient for Mr. Christopher.
Yes.
But most importantly, thank you, our listeners, our Patreon members, anybody that's messaged us on social media or recommended games to us. We really appreciate it when you reach out and tell us that you like the podcast or tell us that you hate Todd. We don't know why so many of you do that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we've sheltered it from you for a while.
I figured it was me.
That's on the sub Discord.
Oh, no.
The dark cord.
In all seriousness, we do appreciate our listeners. Thank you very much. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.